Hello, Screamer, and welcome to Scream Stream, your spoiler-free guide to streaming horror entertainment. I'm your host, James Gass. If you're new to the show, what I do is pick a horror movie from one of the various streaming services and give it a spoiler-free review. Scream Stream is available wherever podcasts are served, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many more. And I'm doing something a little new for this episode. I'm actually recording a video for the YouTube channel. So basically it's the podcast in video format. If you're watching on YouTube, this is basically just how I record the podcast. So if you don't want to listen to a whole bunch of talking on YouTube, I get that. Subscribe to the audio podcast over at screenpod.com. You can check it out over there. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way first. As you probably know, I've been missing in action for about a month now. I haven't recorded an episode, and I think that's because I just really needed a break. I had a lot of other stuff going on. I'm trying to build up a photography business, so I'm working on that. And I am still trying to work on my Southern Beer Review YouTube channel, and I think maybe I just did a little too much. My creative juices got drained. And I think maybe I just needed to take a break to reset. And I think that's what I've done. I've kind of just let my creative battery recharge itself. And I'm back. And I kind of had the idea of doing the YouTube channel or the YouTube video for Scream Stream rather than just pushing it from Libsyn, which is my podcasting host, straight to YouTube with just a static image. If you go to the past episodes on YouTube, it's just a static image and you hear the podcast. So I thought, what if I actually recorded a video for it? So that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying it out. I don't know if it's going to work, if you're going to like it, but I thought I'd give it a shot. So basically, the YouTube video and the audio podcast are exactly the same. There's no difference. Just if you happen to want to watch the video, you can do that. Or if you just want to listen to the podcast, you can do that as well. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, head over to screenpod.com and I put all of the subscription links there so you can get it in Spotify and as I mentioned, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, a whole bunch of other ones, Overcast. I know some of my Apple subscribers, they use Overcast, which I don't have an iPhone yet. So, but anyway, I want to go ahead and give this a shot and see what it was like. So what have I been doing on my free time? Well, I haven't just been sitting around. I've been watching quite a few horror films. I've watched a bunch, actually. I've finished up Castle Rock on Hulu, which is an amazing show. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. The ending I felt like was a little, I don't know. I think, after thinking about it, I feel like maybe the ending was the right way to go because it kind of left the viewer to their own judgments as to what could have been. So I guess the ending did kind of work. If you haven't seen Castle Rock, I recommend that you get Hulu just for that. I think you can get like a 7-day free trial and you can just binge watch that show in all 7 days. I recommend it. Also, I've been watching, as I mentioned, several films, and I've got a queue built up, a review queue. That rhymed. Sorry. So this week I'm reviewing The Midnight Man. Next week I'm going to review Terrifier, then Pumpkinhead, then Always Watching, a Marvel Hornets story. I'll talk about that in a second. And A Quiet Place. And then after that, I'm not sure what I'm going to do after that. There's just so much stuff out there. There's a lot of good films that have been hitting Netflix and Amazon. So there's quite a few things I do want to watch and review. So for Always Watching, I put this a few weeks into the queue because it is based off of a YouTube channel called Marvel Hornets, and it's a collection of short video clips based around the Slender Man mythos. And the YouTube channel was started back in 2009, I think, when the whole Slender Man thing was just became a thing where the guy had won the photo contest for taking something mundane and normal and turning it into something creepy. That was like the contest. And so he won with his Slender Man photo. Well, Marble Hornets took that idea and created a web series. And I first found it in 2011 when I started film school. One of my classmates said, "Hey, you got to check this out. This is really cool." And that's kind of when I got the idea to start YouTube, to really think about doing web series. I actually edited a web series for a director out in Hollywood called They Live Among Us, which is a really good web series. I'll put a link to that YouTube channel in the description below. But Marble Hornets really kind of opened the idea up to me of creating TV shows strictly for the internet. And there's like 93 clips, I think, but I highly recommend that you go and watch this YouTube channel, binge it if you can, just binge right through it. And then always watching a Marble Hornet story. While it's not directly related, I still think you should watch Marble Hornets because it is just excellently executed. Really, it is perfectly executed, well written, well acted, for amateur filmmakers. I highly recommend that you go and check out that channel. I'll put all these links down in the description and on the show notes for this episode of Scream. Highly recommend it. And then also in the queue, I've got Hereditary and Drag Me to Hell, which is available on HBO Go. And then Hereditary is also available to rent on Amazon Prime, Vudu, and wherever else you like to rent streaming films from. So let's go ahead and get into this week's review of The Midnight Man, which was written by Travis Zariwny, based on the screenplay by Rob Kennedy. And this was directed by Travis Zariwny. And it stars Lynn Shaye, Gabrielle, Haugh, Grayson, Gabriel, and Robert Englund. And for a brief plot synopsis, a girl and her friends find a game in the attic that summons a creature known as the Midnight Man, who uses their worst fears against them. So let me start off with acting. I haven't seen Gabrielle Haugh, I guess it's how you pronounce her name, or Grayson Gabriel in anything else. I know that Gabrielle was in Jeepers Creepers 3, which is on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet. I do plan on watching that one. And Grayson Gabriel was in Wayward Pines, which I haven't watched. I heard that's really good. I do want to see that. Other than that, I haven't seen them in anything, but they were really good. I thought they gave really great performances. I thought they were believable. I enjoyed their characters. And a lot of times, I think this is going to sound terrible, but when you have younger actors, they don't always do that well. Like they either overact or underact. But I think these two kids did just a bang up job. Their characters were interesting. Their characters weren't annoying. They didn't meet like all the cliches that you see in horror films, or maybe not cliches, but tropes. They didn't fit those like character tropes, which I enjoyed. That was great. Lynn Shaye was super creepy in this film. Now you should recognize her from Insidious and 100 other horror films. She's like a scream queen. And she was great in this film. Super creepy. Like I've never seen her that creepy before. It gave me chills, to be honest with you. And then we have Robert Englund. Freddy. I mean, come on. But here's the thing. I feel like, and I might be wrong on this, but I feel like Robert Englund is known now as sort of like a B-rate actor because he everything that he's really acted in has been like straight to video, I guess. But he's a really good actor, and I don't think he should be discredited so easily. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe people don't really feel like that, but I kind of feel like he gets sort of a bad rap because he's not in big blockbusters or whatever. But he's a great actor, and he had a nice little cameo in this film. He didn't have like a lot of screen time, but the time that he was on screen, I enjoyed it. I thought he gave a great performance. Him and the person who played his assistant, I thought he also did really well. As for the story itself, it starts off in not really a flashback, but we see the origins of Anna, played by Shaye, and what happened with her when she played the Midnight Man, her and her brother and their friend. We see what happened to them and what happened to her and why maybe she is the way she is, why she grew up in this, I don't know, this just the weird way that she acts. And a lot of that gets explained at the end. I don't want to spoil that for you. And then, of course, we have the daughter or the granddaughter, Alex, who happens to find the Midnight Man game in the attic when Anna asks her to go look for something. I forgot what it was. But Anna is sort of living in the house, taking care of, not Anna, I'm sorry. Alex is living in the house, taking care of Anna, her grandmother, because her mom passed away, and Anna just kind of needs somebody to take care of her because it's portrayed as though she has maybe some dementia setting on, or onsetting dementia. Is that how you say that? I guess so. She's starting to lose her mind. So Alex is there to take care of her, and Anna sends Alex up to the attic to go find something that she needed. I forgot what it was. And there is where Alex finds the Midnight Man game. She kind of reads the rules a little bit and calls her friend over, her friend Miles, and they play the game together. And then later on, they have another one of their friends come over. And this is where I thought it was going to get kind of silly, is when you throw in another character after you've already kind of kicked off the plot. But it didn't. It stayed on track. And the other character, their friend, I believe, their friend Kelly, still did a really good job. Character was still well written. She was kind of knew what the Midnight Man was. So some of her dialogue was a little cheesy, kind of just to get the whole plot rolling, I guess. But yeah, some of her dialogue was a little cheesy, but that's okay. It didn't detract from my overall enjoyment of the film. But the story was good. It was interesting. There I go again. The story was intriguing. I liked it a lot, actually. And I thought that the Midnight Man was a pretty scary character. There were some really good jump scares in there. I think that the jump scares were well placed. They weren't overused. They weren't underutilized. Just the right amount of suspense and jump scares to kind of keep me going. This really felt like a top-notch production. There was a lot of production value in this. It felt like a film that could have been in theaters. It probably should have been in theaters, I think. I really, really, really enjoyed this story a lot. And I thought the overall vibe was creepy. It's very dark. I like the use of muted colors and muted tones. There's not a whole lot of bright colors in the film. And I think that choice of color palette just really kept the mood dark and creepy and added to the suspense. Yes, there is some cheesy dialogue in there, but I'm okay with that. It wasn't that much. It really wasn't. Overall, I like the film. It currently has a 4.8 on IMDb. I think that is just absolutely terrible. Why so low? I think if I was going to give this film a rating, I give it at least a 3.75 out of 5. Maybe even closer to a 4, because I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film. Well written, well acted, suspenseful, nice amount of jump scares, not overly gory. I don't think it relied too much on gore. There was a little bit of gore, but I don't think it relied too much on that. Just a great film. I liked it. I don't know why it's got such a low score on IMDb. I don't know. If you watch it, let me know what you think down in the comments below, or shoot me or tweet me at James Gass on Twitter, or at Scream_stream over there on Twitter. Let me know what you thought about the film. All right, moving on to new streaming releases on Netflix. Okay, so since it has been a while since I've recorded an episode, there is a lot of stuff that has been released. On Netflix, we have Shudder, Shutter. This is I think it's either Thai or Korean horror film, a ghost story film. Really good. I think I still have the DVD. I think I do have the DVD. Really good film, super creepy. I recommend that you watch it. Maybe I'll do a review of that as well. Phobia 2, another, I think is a Korean horror film. This is like an anthology. I do plan on watching this because it is an anthology. I'm a sucker for them. As Above, So Below, found footage film. I love those two. I don't know why. I just don't. But they're great. I like found footage. Murder Party. I've been wanting to see this for quite a while. I just never got around to watching it. The Witch. I did a review of this earlier on Scream Stream. Watch that film. Just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. Push through it. I know it's a slow burn, but it really pays off at the end. Stephanie, Terrifier, which I mentioned I'm going to be reviewing that next week. And The Lodgers, which looks really super creepy. Can't wait to see that one. On Amazon, we have Return of the Living Dead. Love that film. The Ballerina. Unsane. I've seen trailers for that, and it looks really good. Mother, which is also on Hulu. I do want to watch that. Killing of a Sacred Deer. I don't know if that's really horror, but I've seen it talked about on the horror blogs. And then also, I know Shockwaves, they talked about it some. So I guess it deserves to be on the list. And then on Hulu, I don't do a whole lot of films on Hulu, but every now and then they do get some good releases. So they have Pumpkinhead 1 and 2, Marrowbone, which I do want to watch. I saw the trailers. That looked really good. The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, The Dark Half, Amityville Horror, the original Amityville Horror, again, Mother, Baskin, which is like this super bizarre, bonkers Turkish horror film. If you haven't seen that, you've got to watch that. That is just so bizarre and so out there and so gory. I don't know. That film was crazy. I didn't know what was going on half the time, but it was bonkers. You got to watch that one. And then of course The Midnight Man. So a lot of good things on Hulu this week. I think there's actually been more since I created this list. But yeah, go check it out. If you don't have Hulu, I think they do like a 7-day free trial, but I recommend it. They've got some good stuff on there. In Shudder, I don't have Shudder anymore. But the last time I checked, there wasn't a whole lot. Oh, there is one thing on Shudder that I did want to talk about. Hell House LLC Part 2. Now, Hell House LLC is a found footage film about haunts. It's kind of like The Houses October Built, but a little bit different. Actually, the ending is there's a huge difference. If you haven't watched that and you like found footage films, watch Hell House LLC. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I know it's on Shudder, but Part 2 is out, and I cannot wait to see that. Yeah, because I do like that film. And then we also have Dead Wax, The Sublet, The Night of the Virgin. I don't know what that is. Let Her Out. I don't know what that is either. Revenge, which is supposed to be really good. Of course, it's a revenge film. And that is all for Shudder. I think I might get it. I know my wife says I have too many subscriptions as it is. It's $5 a month. Maybe I can slip it by. We'll see. Yeah, I do have a lot of subscription stuff, and I need to kind of weed some things out. Shudder is totally worth the $5 a month. I know you can get a 30-day free trial right now. Fright Rags has a code. I think the code, if you use code Fright Rags, you can get you a 30-day free trial. All right, so that's going to do it for this week's episode of Scream Stream. If you'd like to keep up with me outside of the podcast, you can do so at screenpod.com. We can find links to all of my social profiles, including Twitter and Instagram. I'm trying to use Instagram a lot more. Over there, it's just Scream Stream. On Twitter, it's Scream_stream. And also the Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/screampod. Be sure to check that out. While you're there, you can listen to episodes while you're there at screampod.com. You can listen to episodes or previous episodes and subscribe to the podcast via your favorite podcatcher like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast. If you have a movie you'd like me to review and you think, James, you got to watch this movie. I think you're going to love it. Or, James, this movie has been in my queue. I want to know if it's good. Let me be your guinea pig. And let me know on Twitter. Comment in the description of this episode. Or if you go to the website, you can comment there as well on this episode. Or, of course, you can head over to Facebook too. Any way you can get in contact with me, do it. Let me know. Help me pick out some movies. And then lastly, music for Scream Stream was created by Kevin MacLeod over at incompetech.com. Until next week, I'm James Gass saying, if it was real, the cameraman would be dead too. Good night.